A very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the special Hurricane Irma update. It is Thursday, the 7th of September, the early hours of Thursday, by the way, if you live in the United States, and also it's approximately 6 a.m. here in the UK. So, what's the very latest on Hurricane Irma? Of course, it's set multiple records, including the longest tropical cyclone in the world to have sustained 185-mile-per-hour winds for a 33-hour period, surpassing Haiyan back in 2013 of 24 hours. The system is all but wiped out the island of Barbuda and hit hard popular destinations such as St. Martin. And the current position is just to the north of Puerto Rico here, so it looks as if um, thankfully the system is passing to the north of the island, so the worst of the system is bypassing the island of Puerto Rico. It will continue to maintain a west-northwest track over the next several days here as we go forward, but the records will continue to fall as it looks as if most of the models continue to keep this system as a category 5 with ever so slight weakening over the next 3 days. So remarkably, we could see another 3 days, 72-hour period of a Category 5 system, which is really quite a remarkable feat for just really reiterating the power, the immense power of Hurricane Irma and the rarity that it is now sustaining overall here. Water temperatures certainly plenty warm throughout the forecasted track for Irma. We're going to be talking about a major hurricane making a beeline for South Florida, but it may well, unfortunately, maintain Category 5 strength as it hits the Bahamas, I think. So it could have more devastation in the Caribbean before it finally threatens the Florida Peninsula and the southeastern United States through the upcoming weekend here. But water temperatures generally in the vicinity of the Bahamas is not that far off 90 degrees. So we're talking about 31, possibly near 32-degree waters. Wind shear is relatively light, if not calm. And the fact that the system is passing to the north of Puerto Rico and most likely to pass to the north of Hispaniola here, which of course has very high mountain terrain, just like it has in Puerto Rico. It looks as if it's going to maintain a very, very powerful status all the way to Florida here. So it is a major concern now starting to show for the Bahamas as well as Florida, with evacuations, mandatory evacuations now in play over South Florida, including the vast populous area of Miami-Dade County. So it does look as if it's going to maintain, like I say, a very powerful strength. The interaction with the Bahamas will not really significantly weaken this system because they're very small islands, they're not highly elevated, so the impacts of land interaction with the Bahamas will be minimal, and therefore we're very concerned that the track over increasingly warm water, may I add, because the water at the moment to the north of Puerto Rico is not quite as warm as what they are over the Bahamas. And the fact that they're missing these larger land masses means there is very, very little um, obstacles for this system to really weaken properly here. So we're going to continue to watch this system very carefully. The global models indicate that this system uh, may well take a turn to the north a little bit earlier than previously thought. Remember, some of the models were taking it over towards southwest Florida. Now they're taking it towards the east and southeast of Florida here. So it's taking a kind of bend around the southern flank of the Bahama archipelago and taking a track up to the east of Florida here. The saving grace, in a sense, for Florida would be if this system kind of took a bend east of the main population areas along the southeast coast. But of course, we still have to watch for a potential Hugo scenario here up into South or North Carolina here. Of course, Hugo hit 1989 as a very powerful Category 4 hurricane in South Carolina, caused massive damage, and even if it misses Florida, the United States is not out of the woods by any stretch. If anything, it would be Florida that would be out of the danger zone here, but I doubt that will be the case. So we're going to have to continue to watch this scenario very, very carefully, folks, over the next few days here. Unfortunately for the island of Barbuda, it is a case of rebuilding. Uh, I believe 90% of the homes on the island has been destroyed, essentially, and unfortunately, major important buildings such as communication networks is all being knocked out here. So it is going to be a slow process for the folks in Barbuda, unfortunately, and we'll continue to keep our thoughts and prayers with these people here as they rebuild in the future. So looking at the sea surface temperatures here around the islands of around the Bahamas here, you can see here that we've got 30-degree waters, which is 86 Celsius. And like I've already said, it's warmer up in this general region than it is to the north of Puerto Rico. Temperatures generally are kind of around about the 29 mark. I know that you're only talking a degree or so a difference, but the water temperatures around the Bahamas is probably deeper into a deeper depth of the ocean. So therefore, it's going to have a bigger impact potentially in fueling Irma as it gets into this general vicinity here. We're going to be watching a trough driving south over the United States. That is essentially what is going to allow the northward turn of Irma. Timing is essential, depending on how quickly the trough deepens, how sharp it deepens, and of course, how quickly it can interact with Irma here. So a lot of things on the table here. I do want to say that I will not have any video posts through the next several days, but I will update you through the course of the rest of this week and the weekend in particular on Hurricane Irma. Hope you have a safe and a good upcoming few days, folks. Bye bye.